My partner says he looks like a version of Timothée Chalamet who listens to Nine Inch Nails. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Read, share, repeat, where we discuss books from the perspective of an aspiring fantasy author. Me, Carrie Share. And today we will be taking a look at my June TBR. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I construct my TBRs in a very specific way using specific categories. I utilize a mix of books that I own and my local library. There are also a list of 27 books of priority reads for 2025 that I need to get through, but specifically this summer, I want to target nautical type books. Maybe it's because I'm going on a cruise next month, my very first in my entire life, but I have been targeting the summer as the time for me to read seafaring stories. So while I'm going to stick to my normal construction of my TBR, I have brought back the bonus book category specifically so I can tackle some of these seafaring stories. So as always, the first category of my TBR are books that I did not get to last month. And there are actually quite a few I did not get to, but because most of them were library reads and I had to put them back on hold when I did not get to them, most of them aren't actually available at the moment. So they are not appearing on this list and will probably just have to come back up in a future TBR. First in this category is City in Glass by Nhi Vo. This is a book that I don't know much about other than that it is about a fallen city. There are angels and demons and there's some sort of pact to try and bring the city back to glory, I think. But it has appeared several times in my library, recommended reads, and I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. Next in this category is Assassin's Apprentice. And I have been saying I'm going to reread this book for months, and I have still not gotten to it. I'll talk about this a little bit more in my reading wrap up, but May turned out to be kind of a slumpy month, really because of a specific book that I was trying to read for content, and that kind of put a damper on all of my other reading. And so as a result, I didn't get nearly as much reading done as I wanted to. That being said, I've since DNF'd the book because it's obviously not working for me, and I am trying to get back to the books that I was hoping to prioritize this month. And once again, that is Assassin's Apprentice. This is a 2025 priority read for me. I want to be able to read it so that I can get on with the series and read more in the Robin Hobb universe. Just this last weekend, I bought the 5th and final trilogy of the Robin Hobb universe. It's not the final one I needed to complete the collection, but it was one that I was missing. So I'm really, really eager to get back into this world and continue with the series for the first time in 6 years. Next in this category is Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski, and this was my random draw from May. Again, just didn't get to it because I was kind of slumping. I haven't taken it off my TBR, even though I did very much consider putting it back on my unread shelf instead of on my TBR shelf, but I'm gonna stick with it for now. If I languish over it for another month, maybe I'll defer it, but for now, it's gonna stay on my TBR. So that is it for the books I did not get to last month. Again, you may notice that there are quite a few missing from that, but it is what it is. I'll just get to those other ones when I get to them. The next category is books that are currently on my loans list or the holds that I expect to come to me in the new month. First on this list is A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, and I picked this up because I was actually running out of books on my loans list. I had some holds that were taking a long time to come due, and so I am hoping to get this one read finally. It's been kind of languishing there for a while now. It's a YA, it's a fantasy romance. Those two things are normally ingredients in a DNF pie, but I'm hoping because I enjoyed A Dark and Drowning Tide so much, also by Alison Saft, that this experience will be better than most other YA romances that I've read. Next up in this category is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is the sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I read last year. And while I wasn't over the moon about it, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun and kind of cozy, but the kind of cozy that I think works for me. It's one of those reads that is just a great, light meal that kind of breaks up some of the heavier reads that I tend to gravitate towards. And then I just got today my Fairy Loot edition of this book, but I also have it taken out from the library. I'll probably read the library version to preserve the beauty of the Fairy Loot version, but since I have it, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Okay, so confession. I actually like the original cover better. I am not loving this cover. I'm not loving this artistic interpretation. I think I prefer the one on the original cover. And also, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. My partner says he looks like a version of Timothée Chalamet who like listens to Nine Inch Nails. Actually, what he said was like Paul Atreides who listens to Nine Inch Nails, but yes. Not giving, not for me. That being said, I'm looking forward to it. As you may know, if you have been following me for a while, I had some issues with One Dark Window, but that had less to do with the actual story and the writing itself, and was largely to do with the fact that I really hated the main character. Really hated her. And that is a trend that I am finding lately, that unlikable female characters, I don't like them. And I struggle with them. I guess I need to connect with the female character, and if I can't, then it's a big no. But anyway, that gives me hope that Rachel Gillig is not necessarily a no for me in general. It's just that particular character didn't happen to work for me. So I tagged The Night and the Moth almost as soon as I could and got in line for it at the library. I did not know that it was the Fairy Loot selection, although if I had put more than like 30 seconds thought into it, I probably could have figured it. But yes, I'm excited about this one. Next up in this library holds category is Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erickson. I took this book out like in March when I was slumping and really struggled with it because of the slump. It is a very, very dense epic fantasy with a lot of concepts, a lot of capital letter like magic and people and places and things going on. And it was just so dense and so intense that me slumping, I just felt like I couldn't like hold on to all the details. And so it contributed, unfortunately, to the slump. And so I had to let it go, but I've been wanting to get into the Malazan series for a while now. It is definitely on my radar to explore more of, along with some other big name fantasy universes and series. But that being said, that my experience with it the first time is making me a little bit nervous and dubious about bringing it back and trying it again, because I do know that it is so dense. So we'll see. That might be something that I just have to concede to another time when I am trying a less ambitious list. Next up in this category is The Blood That Binds Us by Erin Maynard, and I believe this is just standard romantasy fare. I don't really know that much about it, but in my quest to find romantasy that works for me, I am just kind of casting my net wide. And that also goes for Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu, which is also in this category. I checked it out a couple months ago, slumped, sent it back. It is what it is. I expect to get it this month. We'll see. These are a pair of books that I could see, like if I am busy with other projects and other books, that I just defer my hold for a while until I'm in the mood for something like that. But listen, I like to keep my holds list full, okay? So that is it for my library loans and holds list. The next category is my 2025 priority reads. I am currently one book behind on my priority reads list. I'm trying to read at least 2 a month, but there are also 3 extra on the list, since it's a list of 27, that I need to cram in somewhere, and I am 1 book behind. So while I did consider taking a break from this list for this month, I don't want to fall any further behind, so we've got these. First up off that list is A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett, and this was in my bonus book category from last month's TBR, and I didn't get to it. And I am making it a priority this month. I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot that I actually put it on my priority reads list, so I wish I remembered that from last month, but whatever. So I am not taking any excuses to not read this. In fact, I'm actually thinking I'm going to sit down over my vacation next week and read not just A Drop of Corruption, but I'm going to reread The Tainted Cup and annotate it. I really, 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 really love this book. It was one of the best books I read last year, only eclipsed by another Robert Jackson Bennett book, Foundryside, and Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner. Really, really liked it. And the introduction of my annotation project has given me an excuse to reread it so I can annotate it. So, like I said, it is kind of a soft goal of mine to read both of these over my vacation next week. I'm not going anywhere. It is my annual birthday staycation, and also it just happened to coincide with the trip my ex's parents are taking the kids on to Disney World, so the kids won't even be here. So I will literally have the house to myself. I'm gonna be on the couch, I'm gonna be reading, it's gonna be fabulous. So, 2 books for sure that I plan on reading this month. Oh my gosh, they're all so chunky. Next up in this category is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I actually pre-ordered this book. It was one of the first books I ever pre-ordered, and I haven't read it. When did it come out? It's been a while. 2023. So not too bad. And since I think the rest of the trilogy has come out, so I need to read this. It is quite a chunker. Actually, several books on this list are chunky, but I just wrapped up the Book of the Ancestor series by this author, the first of which, Red Sister, as I have mentioned numerous times, changed my life and really rocketed Mark Lawrence close to the top of my favorite authors list just because his writing just speaks to me. And I've heard some really, really good things about this book in particular. And it's time. It's just time. Obviously, it's on my priority reads list, so I know I've got to get it read at some point this year. May as well be now. You're still functioning? Great. Okay. And then the last category are my 2 bonus books that I picked for nautical themed stories. The first of which is Dragon Fruit by Makia Lucier, and I have been looking at this book on my shelf for a full calendar year at least, and I really want to read it. I really want to read it. I know it's a YA, but I just think it is so pretty. The premise sounds pretty cool, like a Pacific Islander inspired, or at least themed, and I know there's like a dragon egg in it, and a broken promise. Yeah, so I don't know if this will end up being for me, but I can no longer resist its siren call, especially, I mean, look, this is summer. This just speaks summer to me. It just perfectly fits with what I want to be reading right now with the nautical themed stories. And then lastly, in this category of bonus books with nautical themes, I will be reading Call of the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. I reread The Bone Ships last month ago, throughout March and wrapping up at the beginning of April, I think. And I actually rated it higher than I originally rated it because I liked it so much the first time and he liked it even more the second time. And I am making a concentrated effort to try and continue series this year. Watching my series tracker balloon to more than 30 unfinished series kind of was a slap in the face. A definite wake-up call. So I am trying to get that number down and trying to be better about reading more series. I'm hoping to read this one early in the month and then maybe towards the end of July, finishing out the series with The Bone Ships Wake. But gotta get this one done first, and I am really looking forward to it. So that is number 2 and the final book in that nautical themed bonus books category, which means it is my favorite time of the month, the time where I get to choose a random book off my TBR via my TBR Mimic. If you're new to my content, a lot of people have a TBR jar. I have a TBR Mimic, and inside the TBR Mimic are scraps of paper upon which numbers are written, and each number corresponds to a book in my owned library. I maintain a spreadsheet where I keep track of every single book that I own, be it physical, ebooks, or audiobooks. And if you're not here, you've probably heard that spiel like 15 times, and I'm sorry. So one of my favorite things about the random draw is that it kind of is like an assignment, and I don't know why that works for me, but it does. And it kind of forces me to perhaps pick up books that I wouldn't have otherwise because I'm so focused on other books in my TBR. Now, to be fair, the Mimic has struck out quite a bit this year. I don't think I've finished a single one. Rip. But I'm going to continue doing it anyway because it is kind of exciting to give myself an excuse to read a book that I may not have otherwise chosen. Here we go. I am gonna choose one not too deep, but not on the surface either. Now I have a ton of physical books on this TBR. It might behoove me to get a ebook. This is number 206, and that is fairly recent, so let's check. Okay, so 206 is a book I've actually read. Since updating the Mimic, I have actually made some tweaks to my own library. I've been taking out books that I've DNF'd, or unhauled rather, so that might be why that happened. But I have made the decision for my sanity to only refresh this Mimic once a year. So it is what it is. Sorry to whatever 206 originally was, but it is not a viable option this time because I've already read it. It was The Court of Mortals by A.J. Lancaster, by the way, which is an audiobook that I read last year. Okay, trying this again. We have, pretty close to the last one, 196. Oh no! 196 is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, which is actually the second time in 1 year, I think, that it's come out of the Mimic. in order for me to read. And my history with this book has not been great. I have bounced off it now 3 times, twice via audiobook and once via ebook. I have put it on a TBR even earlier this year and soft DNF'd it because I just wasn't feeling it. Unfortunately, it is on my 2025 priority reads, so I have to read it, but I have the very strong sense that this book is not going to be for me. I don't know. I remember thinking that maybe it would be better to read the ebook than try and listen to the audiobook, but the ebook, I actually stalled out of it even faster than the audiobook. The mimic giveth and it taketh away. That wraps up this extremely dense, very long TBR list, and not just long in the fact that there's 15 books here, but also a lot of these books are very long. Dragon Fruit's fairly short, and I'm sure some of the romantices from the library will be kind of short, but that's a big list. I have never reached more than 10 books completed in a single month. So 14, is it 14 or 15? It's 15 if you count the Tainted Cup. Now, to be fair, I have a vacation coming up in which I will be just sitting around the couch, sitting around the house. Last time I had a vacation, I ended up reading 6 books, some of which I had already started, and there was a little bit of travel in there, but I can do it. I could probably read 3 or 4 books on vacation. The problem is everything else. With that, wish me luck and thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate it. If you like my content and want to support the channel, please like and subscribe or consider leaving a comment down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me a sailboat emoji or a pirate emoji or a wave emoji, something to do with the ocean or boats or pirates or the nautical tradition. I would love that. In my next video, I'm going to have a weekly reading vlog for you. I hope you look forward to it, and I will see you then. Bye.